Anthony on Air podcast. Frankie C is back
Damn
on
right.
this episode. Ghislaine Maxwell update. She's losing again. Plus, Brian Laundrie crazies. We'll
Crazies.
update you on Kyle Rittenhouse, Travis Scott. You could pick your own Sopranos crew on this episode.
Hmm.
Paul Rudd making some news. We got two sexy men right here. Paul Rudd's not the only sexy guy on this episode. Speaking
Right.
of Jeffrey
God.
Toobin,
What?
we'll address Frank gaslighting me, and a brothel is offering up quite the incentive for getting the jab.
Hmm.
All on this episode.
Which jab?
You know the jab.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Actually, that's a great question, Frank.
All right. Thank
All that on this episode. Let's go. Ghislaine Maxwell. She appealed for her fourth bid for bail on Tuesday. She was denied. No surprise there.
you. Right.
Judge ruled in favor of the prosecution and called her lawyer's arguments better suited to tabloids than briefs. Today, a judge ruled that a psychologist who has studied the grooming of sexual abuse victims could testify at her trial, an expert witness Maxwell's attorneys had sought to block. So the government is trying to get this psychologist on the stand. Maxwell's people trying to block. They got it through. So good for them. Also, Maxwell's, we talked about this on the last episode, what Ghislaine Maxwell's defense was going to be. And she was trying to get this person, it was two things. One, an expert, mind you, that would testify that people have false memories when it comes to abuse. And also the halo effect, whereas Epstein used his brilliance to manipulate people into serving his needs. So basically, you can't hold them responsible because they were under his
Can't hold who responsible?
freakish control. Ghislaine.
Oh, I see.
It wasn't her fault. She was under the halo effect of Epstein.
He was a wizard.
Right. So Maxwell's expert, who is going to testify to this, the government contended in a letter to the judge that that expert was unreliable, irrelevant, and squarely within the knowledge of the average juror. Rather than focus narrowly on reliable opinions that would be relevant to the issues of this case, the defendant proposes to have her experts testify broadly about a wide variety of topics, from testimony about various psychological disorders to testimony regarding the generation of false memories in laboratory settings that are not helpful to the jury, prosecutors wrote on Monday. Maxwell's lawyers have indicated in court filings that they intend to call Loftus, a psychologist and frequent expert witness for the defendants, to testify about research showing that false memories can be described with confidence, detail, and emotion, just like true memories. The government, however, is arguing that Loftus should not be permitted to offer any opinions on witness credibility or to describe a victim with an alleged false memory as a liar or deliberate liar.
Yeah, I mean, false memories is a real thing that people go through. They have that. That's a psychological thing. But what does that have to do with? I mean, they saying her testimony is not going to be very reliable?
Right. They're saying this is bullshit.
Wait, so the prosecution is saying that?
Prosecution, government is saying
Right.
that if you call this Loftus, this is bullshit. So we'll wait to see if we'll actually get Loftus
Okay.
on there. I thought they said no.
I mean, I feel like a case like this, you would want every expert in every thing that has to do with all of this, wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Why would you deny an expert witness when it comes to, especially psychology, when you're dealing with someone like this?
Well, I mean, how true is it that a person can have a false memory and describe, like, you're basically, you can then discredit every single victim with that.
I mean, false memories they're definitely a thing. It happens. People, remember things that either didn't happen or they, you remember something happened, but it didn't happen the time that you thought it did. Like you remember like this happened, and it can only have happened during this time, but in reality, those two things don't match up. So it's like your memory, again, a witness's memory. It's hard to nail down. That's why a lot of, I think, trials, you need more than just witnesses, especially when it's from many years ago. Which I hope I'm sure with all the documents that have been dumped and everything, there's hopefully more than just witnesses. But in this case, when you have multiple witnesses, that certainly helps.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess, I mean, I'm not, I don't know if I 100% buy what you're saying. Not that you're saying it. I get it. It's a real thing. I guess that can happen to somebody. Can it happen to 400 girls at the
Right.
same
No,
time?
when you have multiple witnesses that all saying the same thing, then yeah, I mean, that's not a false memory.
Right.
I mean, that's corroborated. That of course, that definitely, the more witnesses saying the same thing, the better, obviously.
Yeah, which is so. I mean, it's almost kind of counterproductive to their case when you think, because like it looks like an attempt to just discredit a victim, and when you have like multiple, like how are you gonna, I think that makes it. If it's one person, I get it, but like you said, it's multiple people. You're not gonna be able to get that for every single one of them.
Well, that's the point of the government's case. The government was probably going to say, yeah, there's false memories, but when we have all these people saying the same thing, that kind of knocks the false memory theory out the window.
Right, and that's and that's a total defense attorney tactic, right? Like we don't have to get people to think that Ghislaine Maxwell is innocent. We just have to get the jury to doubt the witnesses or the victims or the accusers in this particular case.
That's
right.
The problem.
Like they don't need to. It could look really bad, but if they put a bit of doubt in their minds about this one with this particular instance and that person in that particular, like that's how they're going to start to like.
Yeah, but you got to discredit every single one of them.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
You might be able to discredit maybe one or two, but when you have, I don't know how many there are, it gets a lot harder, and I'm sure they have a bunch. If you have, I don't know what the number is, but if you have more than a dozen saying this is what happened, and they're all saying the same thing,
that's why she's paying out the ass for lawyers, my friend.
Yeah.
Is that a light bulb umbrella behind you?
That is a lamp without the lampshade.
Oh, okay. It looked like an umbrella a little bit. I'm like, that's a pretty badass umbrella.
That would be an umbrella with a light bulb.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've seen lightsaber umbrellas.
Really?
Which I do have, like the the shaft in the middle. That's what she said. Is a lightsaber, and then you have the umbrella. Which is something I want to get.
A shaft in the middle, or a lightsaber umbrella?
Yes.
Brian Laundrie craziness right after we tell you about our favorite coffee, Jumpstart Coffee Company. There it is in my muggaroo right there. Look at it. Delicious.
Beautiful. Got my new dark roast bag here.
Day today, my friend. I was up early. I was running around, this and that, and kids, and this and that, and kids, and this and that.
All you had to do was say kids. Everybody understands.
This is a welcome addition during the show here in our wonderful merch mug. You got some merch on right now, Frank, don't you? You got your
wearing the
famous silhouette shirt on that you designed yourself. Looking good.
Got the logo.
Looking good.
It's comfy. The fabric is awesome. Loving it.
Great coffee, great cause, of course. It's just wait a second while I get another.
Here we go.
Let me get another pull here. Oh my God, it's so flavorful. I absolutely love it. Put a little almond milk in mine. You could have it straight up. My wife likes it black. That's what she said. 15% off when you use the promo code AOA15. I feel like we don't even need Janine anymore because we've been so conditioned by her.
We fill in the gaps. That's what she said when she's not here.
Do you hear her voice in your head after you say something and then before you say that that's what because that's what I hear in my head.
When I close my eyes, I see this, and I hear, and she's talking. She's going, "That's what you did."
Yeah, when I started to say my wife likes her coffee black, which is true, I just immediately heard Janine. I saw her on the screen too saying it.
Doing this.
Right. And exactly. That little people are like, we have to stop that noise. I'm like, I'm trying to get her to use the equipment.
That's part of her charm.
Yeah. Anyway, Jumpstart Coffee Company, best coffee I've ever had. 50% of their profits go to the Navy SEAL Foundation.
Indeed.
I mean, what a wonderful cause. Freedom. That's basically our freedom right there as the Navy SEALs. That's what they're fighting for us. And Jumpstart Coffee Company is helping them, of course, especially when they get to veteran status. Just extraordinary. Check out all the information on Jumpstart Coffee Company. Click the link in the description of this episode or click the banner on the homepage of anthonyonair.com. You can check out our merch, past episodes, and, of course, get your Jumpstart Coffee Company. And don't forget to use that promo code AOA15. Save yourself some 15% on the greatest coffee I have ever had.
It is wonderful.
Brian Laundrie.
What is this craziness? What are we talking about?
Okay. So supposedly there is a woman who spends 5 hours a day in Florida searching for more of Brian Laundrie's remains.
Just some woman?
Just some woman. She's been there for days. A TikTok user with the account called Chronicles of Olivia posted a video of the unidentified woman at the Carlton Reserve, where she has been for the past 10 days, searching for additional remains from Brian Laundrie. The Sun initially reported this, but obviously if you saw it on TikTok, that's kind of really where it came from.
Aren't, like, law enforcement, aren't they searching? Or have they stopped since they got whatever they...
I believe they've stopped.
They're not looking for any more of Brian Laundrie.
What's the point?
I guess.
Which is why
cause of death, you can figure out more from more remains. I don't know.
I have a feeling, even though we don't know, they pretty much know he got eaten. So
sure, but it doesn't answer every question.
It doesn't. I don't know if they care to have an answer to all the questions.
Maybe. I don't know. All right. Sure.
I just don't know.
So she's looking for the rest of him 5 hours a day. Does she work? Does she have a job?
Clearly not. I mean, I don't know what job you have. That's like, gonna need 5 hours in the middle of every day to go search for a body that was already discovered.
She ain't looking at night.
In a case, right? Exactly. Yeah. She's looking at night. They're gonna be looking for her soon. The TikTok account has 1.2 million subscribers. It claims that half of his remains were found, implying that additional bones are still mired in the 25,000-acre reserve in Sarasota.
It's a lot of land to look at.
That is a lot of land. Of course, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. Our own J-Sabs believes that he wasn't found.
But I thought she went down there, and that's why he was found.
Oh, that was the original bit. I think she backed off it.
Oh, she backed off. Okay.
She downshifted into conspiracy theory that it wasn't him.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. I'm all for, the fun conspiracy theories like Bigfoot and JFK and all that stuff. But I feel like not everything, every freaking thing has a conspiracy theory around it. Nothing is ever just, this is what it is.
Nope.
It can't be.
Don't you think we're past that now? I think we're past that now.
I mean, one person says one thing, and it's like, well, if there's a tiniest little kernel of truth to it, who cares about the rest?
Yeah,
it's like they found his bones. Is that not? They identified him. No, not unless I was there holding the beakers. I don't know. I can't tell you if it was him. It's like, yeah. All right, then what are you going to believe? You can't believe anything then.
This is Chronicles of Olivia. There's the lady. searching around.
So they talked with her, and they found out she does this for fire.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of videos with her, and she's just kind of like searching. Unless this is just a bit. And here's the other thing too. I mean, we're New Yorkers. I'm a radio guy, theater of the mind kind of stuff. What would it take if you'd be like, hey, crazy old looking lady, take this stick and poke around, in the weeds for 5 minutes, and then I'll put it on TikTok and get 1 million followers and get,
That's not. See, there you go. Not believing anything you're shown. I get, because it's not coming from any kind of authority. It's like, just some person on TikTok. You can't believe any of that crap for the most part.
But, yeah, and then the Sun picks it up, and because what do they care? Because they have a source. Here it is, the video. They're not like
this is not the LA Times.
Thank God, thank goodness. The LA Times would put it behind a paywall and be like, "Look at this thing we found on TikTok." It's like, assholes.
Yeah, you wanna see it? 99 cents.
TikTok is free.
Jerks.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, we're so past reason, and I don't know. People will act like it's the end of the world, like oh, things are so bad now. I just don't know if it's that or if it's the fact that with the internet now, here's my theory. My theory is we've always had this issue in society. We just see it more now because of the internet.
See, what we have to do is we have to evolve ourselves to recognize when news exaggerates or maybe just adds its color commentary or what's it called? Editorializes, stuff like that. You have to go through a story and go, all right, well, you have to pick out, these are the facts. And all the rest of it.
Well, that we have to do that.
Well, no, because that's the way it's always been. I feel since the beginning of people writing news, it's not, unless it's written by a robot, you're going to have a person writing it, and they're going to tell you, it's not just going to be fact. They're going to say, well, I spoke to this person and this person said, and that's not necessarily a fact. It's just what that person said. And we can't, you have to take stuff with a grain of salt. I get that. But when they tell you, the authorities say, we've done the dental records and it's him.
Right.
You kind of have to go on their side a little bit. Maybe you want to be, you want to leave a little room for error. Fine. But it's not 50-50. If they told you it's, it's his bones, then why would I have any reason to believe it's not? I mean, unless there's a really good reason that they would lie and make that up.
Yeah, especially if it's something like, and like the pandemic really brought this up because pandemic affects all of us, right? So that was something that I could see people getting upset about or having concern about.
Sure.
To your point, it's like, this doesn't really affect anybody. This is affecting
exactly
Gabby's family. That's really it. And, and the Laundrie family to a degree, and that's it.
Right. I mean,
we could choose to believe this one.
Yeah. I mean, and if you believe it or not, it's not going to change your, the way you go about your life.
But I'll say, like, the more I talk to people, you meet new people, you just in the course of life, doing flag football and all this stuff with my kids, and you're talking to parents and stuff. People have a real distrust for everything. Government, media.
It's not unfounded. I get that. You're not supposed to believe every single thing you hear. I get that.
It's not unfounded. You're right.
Sure. But, comes a time where if, the guy says, the guy on the news says, well, it was sunny yesterday and you didn't go outside, you kind of have no reason to, you got to kind of go on a tiniest bit of faith a little bit every now and then.
Yeah.
All right. The guy was outside. I wasn't. He was there. I wasn't. He knows. I'll take it. Every now and then you got to just have a little bit of faith that there's no reason this guy would lie to me. And if there is, all right, I fell for it.
Have a little faith. John Hyatt talking to that.
Did he?
No, it was more about having faith in him, but I guess it all works the same.
That's, general faith is nice.
Have a little faith. What movie was that?
Please stop.
Was that in one of the ones with Travolta where he's an angel or something?
Michael?
Or other? Was it in Michael? I don't know. It wasn't one of them.
I don't know if you're singing it right, but I don't remember that song.
Have a little faith in me. The one where he's playing the piano. Boom, boom, boom. Come on, man. John Hyatt.
Yeah. Okay. It's probably Michael if it's a Travolta movie
It was one of them. I don't even know.
or Phenomenon.
That was it. Those are the two I always confuse. Michael, if he was either an angel or a crazy brainiac, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah. He's in Telekinesis and
same movie. Let's put John Travolta in a weird situation in the Midwest somewhere. That's basically
nobody believes him. Some people believe him.
Yeah. Same fucking movie. It was we all still really love Pulp Fiction. Let's get another $12 out of everybody.
I kind of enjoyed those two movies. They were all right.
Yeah, they were great. Well, it's fucking Andy MacDowell. I'm there. You put Andy MacDowell in a movie, you got my $12 for sure.
Really big Andy MacDowell fan. Huh?
She's the best.
Wasn't she like the worst character in 4 Weddings and a Funeral? Isn't that like widely known?
Is that true? That might be true. Believe it or not, as much of a Grant, what the fuck is his name? Grant.
Hugh Grant.
Much of a Hugh Grant fan as I am, I have not seen that, and I know that's his most popular movie.
So, like, if you look up lists of hated characters in movie history, there's like Jar Jar Binks and then Andy MacDowell.
Who hates Andy MacDowell? That's insane.
In that movie, not in general.
How about Groundhog Day? She's lovely.
She's great. Absolutely. I'm talking about characters. Her character in that movie. I haven't seen 4 Weddings and a Funeral. I've never seen it. Yeah. But from what I understand from those lists, she's not a great character. I don't know what it is. If she's annoying or not, I don't get it. But
question is Andy MacDowell or who was Ted Danson's wife? What was her name? Mary something.
Steenburgen?
Mary Steenburgen or Resurgener? Yeah. Who's better?
Better the kind of
I feel like who's been better Actress? I feel like anytime a movie came, those two were probably like
it's a good one. I would say, I mean, it's a tough one. I would say Steenburgen because she's more I feel like because she's more game for stuff. She was in Step Brothers and she rolled with it a lot more. And, you know, I feel like Andy MacDowell, while she rolls with stuff, she doesn't do those edgy, you know, comedies.
Because she's in Step Brothers. You're giving her the win for Step Brothers alone?
The top for me. And Back to the Future 3.
She wasn't in Back to the Future. That is a big deal.
That's a win column right there.
That's a big deal. But Groundhog Day. I mean,
Groundhog Day is huge. Yeah,
it's nothing to sneeze at.
I'm not saying it's not a close race. It's
not
a blowout. But I go Steenburgen. Burgeon. Plus, she's married to Ted Danson, so that's a win too.
That is big. That is big. But didn't Andy MacDowell get a wasn't she like on a L'Oreal commercial or something like that? That's a big deal.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like I'm trying to pull it back into Andy MacDowell's corner a little bit.
Well, you're a big fan. I get it. I'm a fan. I love it. I think she's great. I'm a fan. I mean, Groundhog Day. What else you got?
I don't know. I'm looking right now. I'm like, there's got to be more movies.
I'm sure there are,
but I can't think of any.
Oh, she was in a really good movie called You're Next. I believe it's was it You're Next? It's the one where the family, they have the game of hide and seek. It may have been called hide and seek. Let me look it up. It's like a horror movie, I guess. Let me see. Hide and...
You know when you go to IMDb and they put your like 4 big movies up? Like, it's 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Groundhog Day, Sex, Lies, and Videotape, and Hudson Hawk. That's not a good top 4.
Hudson Hawk. No, it's You're Next. Is the...
It would have to be You're Next.
It would have to be You're Next. No, it's... What the hell? No, that's not the movie. There's... I can't... all right, you're looking up... You've got her IMDb out, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Who? McDowell?
McDowell.
All right, listen. Here's McDowell's. Here's Steenburgen's top 4.
Oh, see, now you're off McDowell.
Step Brothers, Back to the Future, Part 3. Oh, these aren't her biggest movies either. Time After Time in Las Vegas. All right, let me go back to McDowell. Okay, what were you asking for? You're Next?
It's not You're Next. It's another movie that was really good, and she was pretty good in it. Ready or Not? Yes.
Ready or Not? All right.
Okay. That was and for all the people, there wasn't a lot of she was the most famous person in that movie, and it was great. It was a really good movie, and she was pretty good. She played the mom of the household, and the main character, don't remember her name, but she was really good. Samara Weaving.
Okay.
She was very good.
The Muse.
What about it?
You ever see The Muse? Andy MacDowell was in The Muse. She was what's his name's wife. The Muse is a awesome movie.
How is she in it?
So underrated. It's whatchamacallit, Albert Brooks. He's the screenwriter. Now I just want to end the podcast and watch The Muse. This sucks so hard compared to The Muse. Trying to watch The Muse.
Hey.
It was Albert Brooks, and he's married to Andy MacDowell, and he's got writer's block. He's a screenwriter, and fucking Meathead, what's his name?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And Meathead tells him like, oh, you gotta. There's this woman, and she's like a muse. Like she'll get you to write, like, you know, you're right, unbelievable. And the muse is Sharon Stone, and Sharon Stone is in it, and she's like telling him all these things. It's one of the best albums. I hate people like broadcast news. Muse, man, the Muse is where it's at.
It's one of the best. What movie?
Albert Brooks movies.
Oh, Albert Brooks. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell is his name? Meathead. That's
Carl Reiner.
Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner. There we go. Thank you.
All right. Who's awesome.
Rob Reiner. Muse is awesome though. Fucking Sharon Stone, Jeff Bridges, Sybil Shepherd, Jennifer Tilly, Bradley Whitford,
nice.
Scorsese's in it. Scorsese's in it. Fucking hysterical.
I gotta see The Muse.
Oh, you haven't seen The Muse? You would love it.
All right.
You would love it.
Cool. All right, I'll put them neck and neck. McDowell and
it's
Steenburgen.
It's
neck
tight.
and neck.
No, I'm gonna give it to Steenburgen. She's been in bigger shit.
Yeah.
She's just been in bigger stuff. Let me see here. Grace and Frankie. She's been on Curb Your Enthusiasm too. You can't argue with that. She was great in Step Brothers. Yeah, Back to the Future 3. 30 Rock, Bored to Death, she was in. I think The Proposal with Speed girl there. What's her name?
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock, thank you. Yeah.
All right. I think that, they're neck and neck.
Elf. Come on, Steenburgen was in
Elf. Ah, see, now she wins.
Yeah.
It's over.
I'd love to get those two on a project together. I think that would be hysterical.
I'm in.
Right?
Steam Dowell, we'll call it.
Steam Dowell. What was the one from Friends? Phoebe. Remember she was in a movie about being in a show about being like an actress or some shit like that?
Yeah, I remember that. It was like 2 seasons or something.
Yeah, I'd like to get the two of them in something where they're just constantly like
Lisa Kudrow.
They're like just interchangeable into movies. It's like, can we get this one? Can we get that one?
I like it.
To the point where like they're like, I'm not feeling well. I booked this movie over you, but you want to take it now? It doesn't really matter.
It seems like it's good for an episode. It might not be a series.
Yeah, it might not be a whole series. I might not be able to sell that as a series. But.
No.
All right, Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, forgive me. I have a lot of things going on. I got a lot of psychopaths I'm keeping track of. Which one is this one? He shot some people in a protest or something?
Yeah, last year there were Black Lives Matter protests going on. He went to look at.
Did he not believe they mattered? By the way, I have neglected to tell you this, Frank, and it's been killing me for days. I'm driving the other day. This is a couple days after Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I drive past this car, and it's got a sticker on the side, and it says "No Lives Matter." And as I'm putting it together, I look up just above where it says "No Lives Matter." And it's Jason's mask with a knife. And
I've seen that.
That is phenomenal.
I've seen that. Yeah. That's...
Like, talk about a joke that pulls off a joke in a Blue Lives, Black Lives, like not really jokeable material.
Right.
I thought that was so cute.
That's not terrible.
It's like it's Halloween. We can all have a little giggle.
Well, I'll just take a step back, look at it and go, all right. And then go back and then get back into it.
No lives matter to Jason. He's killing everybody no matter what it is. Very, very true. I thought that was adorable. Good sticker, whoever had that.
Very good. So Kyle Rittenhouse, he lived in one area. He then
Oh, is this the guy who drove like 45 minutes or something crazy?
he drove to another place with his AR, with an AR. He got an AR-15. He went to the protests, and his defense is he was going there to protect property and help people if they were injured.
Correct. Okay,
That's what
now
he's
can I
saying.
say something here? Can I interrupt you?
Please.
I wouldn't go to the next block over to protect somebody else's property. I'm not sure I would go to the next block over to protect an additional property that I owned. I just don't know if I'm this kind of a person.
I know. You're not.
This seems a little nutty to me off the get. I mean, I understand the want to help people, but it's kind of like, nah, I don't think.
Yeah.
Isn't sometimes it's better off you just stay inside? Like, why don't you stay where you are? Let the authorities handle their end of it.
Exactly, which is part of the prosecution's argument.
Yeah. And if shit gets burnt down, which is terribly sad and tragic and very unfortunate and sometimes almost irreplaceable, insurance is around most of the time.
Right. So he was at the time when it happened.
Is that a bad take? Am I going to get screamed at by the?
I don't think so.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, if you're not an authority, you shouldn't be fighting. You shouldn't be starting fights. You shouldn't be. You know, protesting is one thing. You could protest. You feel like you have to protest. Go nuts, but don't vandalize and hurt people. That's not.
True. Also, that people should. Yeah, it's not nice to burn shit down either.
Yeah, no, that's not good.
Peaceful
protesting is great. Go for it. But so what he did when at the time he was 17 when it happened. He lived in Illinois. He went to Wisconsin.
It's Illinois, just so you know. I don't want you to sound like an idiot. Go ahead.
Thank you. Appreciate it. He went to Wisconsin and walked among the protesters. And while he was walking around, he was protecting an area. Someone, like, he met up with people and he was protecting an area with all these people. But then they all had guns as well. He got separated. Someone approached him and was like, I don't know how the interaction started, but Kyle Rittenhouse said he recognized him from before, and the guy was like, I get you alone, I'm gonna kick your ass, whatever it was. He was threatened him, apparently. Then a little bit while later, the guy saw him again and started to aggressively approach Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle shot him 4 times, killed him. Then took off, ran. Mm-hmm. Someone else came up to him and had a gun, I believe, had like a handgun. Wasn't pointing it at him, but had it and was approaching Kyle. I think Kyle was on the floor at one point and he shot him as well, killed another guy. I believe a third person was injured. So his defense was he didn't want to shoot these people. He was acting in self-defense. The prosecution, among saying, well, you pointed the gun at him. First, you shot an unarmed person. Second, you shot a guy who was not really a threat to you, who was not using his gun in any way towards you. And thirdly, you shouldn't have been there with a gun in the first place. First of all, he wasn't legally allowed to own that gun. 17 years old.
Ooh.
Wasn't his gun. He borrowed it from someone, and he's walking around the streets with the gun and like a first aid.
So he wasn't licensed to carry.
Wasn't right. It wasn't his gun.
This doesn't sound good for Kyle. I don't know what happened in the trial today, but it doesn't sound good for Kyle.
Right. So please, I'm not a court reporter. Please fact check me if
you could be though. Honestly, wrong. After this, you could pull it off. I think
I'm going from memory of what I watched. I watched the trial today.
Yeah.
I watched the prosecution cross-examine him.
Now, tell people what you told me.
What did I tell you?
How you?
Oh, it was like, well, I was working. I was doing my work, and I had it on. So it was like 4 hours, maybe a little more. I just had it on while I was working.
That's a lot. I feel like we were talking about this last episode when you were gaslighting me that we finished the podcast on Friday, and Janine went on TikTok and started seeing the Travis Scott stuff, and she got pulled down the rabbit hole, and she watched like 2.5 hours worth of Travis Scott videos. So the same thing happened to you today.
Oh, I saw it on Facebook. It was live. They were showing it. And you scroll down, you see like these pages. They're running it like they had the court on live. And you could watch the actual trial going on, which is
Right.
not very common nowadays. I feel like you don't get the camera in the room.
Yeah.
But so I put it on my TV, and I was watching it while I was working, and they went through, like, they had video of Kyle walking through the streets. They actually had video of the two incidents, and which I guess is another rare thing, but they have video of the two shootings, and so they examined that, and a couple of things that I thought were very, I don't know, the judge is 75 years old, fine. Something came up that the defendants, the defense attorney objected to, and it was so stupid. So the prosecution was like, here's a video of the shooting. It's from very far away. So we're going to zoom in. We're going to actually, pinch and zoom in like on an iPhone. The defense attorney objected to that, saying that it will distort the image. And the prosecution was like, no, it won't. It's technology we use every day. It doesn't do anything to the image. It just zooms in. And the judge was like, well, I'm no expert on this. Does it add pixels? Does it, when you zoom in on an iPhone or an iPad or something like that, is it like, and the prosecution was like, I can't believe this. This is camera. We all have this technology in our hands. It's not distorting anything. You're just zooming in. It's like using a magnifying glass. And he's like, well, now you're going to have to provide an expert to say that. It's like we can't zoom in on this video until I get an expert saying it's not. This is the video. We're looking at the video. We're just zooming in. And they're like, nope, you got to get an expert to say that zooming in won't add pixels or distort it in any way. So that they had to do. Also, there was another point where the prosecution. This was kind of weird. The prosecution, they did two things. They kind of screwed it up, and the judge kind of ripped into them, into the guy. First, he brought up something that was agreed was not going to be brought up in front of the jury. They excused the jury, and then the judge freaking ripped into him. It was like, you can't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what he brought up. I can't remember what it was, but he brought it up, and the guy was like, I thought the door was open on that. I thought it was okay. And the judge was like, no, I said it wasn't, and there's no way you can go around it, and you're not bringing it up, and that's that. And the second thing was he brought up the Kyle Rittenhouse's being silent when he was arrested as a negative, saying, oh, why was he silent, blah, blah, blah. And they said, screw you. It's every person's right to be silent. That's basic constitution, basic law. You didn't have to say a thing.
Yeah.
And you don't get to, drag him over coals for not talking when for that. And I agree. It's part of your constitutional right. You don't have to talk until you get, you don't have to talk. You get a lawyer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that was like the big deal today. That's when if you're looking around, you'll see that the judge.
Wasn't there? Is that when was that the judge yelling that what you played before we got on?
Yeah, he kind of just ripped it. They excused the jury, and the judge kind of ripped into the guy.
No shit.
Then they brought the jury back in. Yeah.
And this was on TV today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he kind of ripped them up. But it's also like the judge was a little like he's worked with this prosecutor before, and they there's like a pre-existing kind of. I don't think it affects anything, but I don't know how they work together. The judge and the prosecutor. So I'm sure they are aware of their eccentricities and all the manner, everything that they do together. But it was interesting to watch. But when Kyle Rittenhouse got on the stand, he they asked him to recount everything that happened, and he was crying for when he recounted that when he shot.
Oh, he was crying. So he said he shot the guy and he was crying.
Oh yeah, he definitely said, yeah, I shot them both. It was self-defense. I didn't want to, but I shot them. And the prosecution was like, you shouldn't have been there, and they were no threat to you.
What did they say when? Like, did they ask him like, why did you go when you shouldn't have been there?
Yeah, he went to. There was property there that he wanted to. I don't know whose it was. It was someone that he knew, I think, that owned, I think, a car place. I'm not 100% on that. There was a place there that he was protecting, and also he brought like first aid stuff. That was his. That's what he said. He said, I was going there to protect this property and to offer first aid to anybody.
I don't know.
He even told people, I'm a medic. I'm a first aid, which he's not. He was 17 at the time. He told everybody, I'm an EMT, and he's not.
He was 17.
He was 17.
I was just gonna say, like, this is the kind of shit you tell a kid, like, don't get involved. It's not worth it.
Oh, he drove all the time too. He doesn't have a license. He drove down there. He doesn't have a license. He was carrying his gun. He was illegal for him to have that gun.
Jesus.
It was, he shouldn't have been there. And these two people are dead.
Who was he raised by? Brian Laundrie's parents?
Right. Honestly. So it was, it was hard to watch. They showed the videos, you hear the gunshots. It's terrible. And it's just, you know what it is? It was a kid who shouldn't have, you give someone who's not trained in any of this a gun.
Yeah.
They're going to panic and they're going to misuse it. And that's what happened.
Well,
in my opinion, he just shouldn't have had the gun. He shouldn't have been anywhere near this. And he's not a trained person with a gun. He's a kid with a gun. That's all, I mean, he seriously fucked up.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if this is an Italian thing or a New York thing. I feel like I say that a lot. But, like, we were kind of raised like, hey, if it ain't your business, don't get involved. I mean, if you can get help for somebody, great, but.
That was the other argument that the prosecution made. When after you shot the first guy, you were across the street from a hospital. The place where he shot the first person, he was literally, I can't remember, first or second person. He was literally across the street from a hospital, number one. Number two, he pulled out his phone and called his friend instead of 911. They were arguing. You shot someone, and if you cared enough, like you said you did, you wanted to see if he was okay, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Why didn't you call 911? Why didn't you try to help? All this stuff. And it was, he was like, well, I was running because people were chasing me and all this stuff. And so it's going to be a hard case for the prosecution, but there's a lot going against him. There's stuff that happened. There's one thing that, there's stuff that happened that 4 months later that the prosecution wanted to bring up. They asked the judge, can we bring this up? It's a photo. It's a selfie of him. He was on bail or on bond or whatever that is, where he's set to go to trial, but he's released into the world. He's out, and he shows up for trial. He's not in custody, basically. And he went to a bar and he's posing for selfies 4 months after the incident.
Oh, geez.
He's posing for selfies, and he has a shirt that said it said on its shirt, free as fuck. And the prosecution wanted to bring that into evidence. And they were like, no, that was 4 months after the incident. It has nothing to do with the incident. I was like, I guess, but if you're trying to create, like, this is his mind frame.
I guess if they show, like, if he doesn't have remorse, it doesn't really matter whether or not it was a crime or not.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, they're trying to, I think they're trying to establish, the prosecution was in that instance trying to establish that Rittenhouse, he didn't care about these victims.
Right.
And he doesn't care about this trial. He's not taking it seriously, and he thinks he's going to get away with everything. That's what I think they were trying to establish. And
don't you wish we were
nope.
judges? Like, don't you wish like they could bring cases to the podcast and we could be like, you're fucking there, that's guilty.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it,
every case would be 45 minutes. Like, that's it. You get 45 minutes.
We'd screw a lot of people over.
Well, maybe. But maybe we'd also get a lot of things right and wouldn't allow for technicalities and shit like that.
Maybe. Yeah. That's the
maybe
shit that annoys the hell out of me. When someone, they didn't finish reading their rights. I feel like we all know the rights by now. Right to remain silent, right? For a lawyer, right? If you can't, we all know them. You know your rights. If you don't technically finish it, that's it. You're done. You're free to go. How could that be? Maybe knock a year off the sentence, but you're free to go? That seems a little weird.
Yeah, it does. It really, really does.
I mean, you murder someone and the cop who arrests you doesn't say the last couple of words in the thing and that's it? You get away with it? That doesn't seem right. But that's why I'm not an attorney or a judge.
I feel like you would be a good one, though. I got to be honest with you.
Thank you.
I really got to be honest with you. Travis Scott, quick update on our last episode. All that's coming out now is how shitty Travis Scott has been at past concerts. That's all people want to talk about.
How?
It's just because even like on our Monday episode, we talked about our last episode. We talked about how like there was videos that had come out already of him telling like somebody tried to steal his sneakers at a show, and he was like, "Get that guy, get that guy." He was like encouraging the crowds to like beat up the guy who tried to like swipe his sneakers, and people thought it was from the Houston show where the people died, but it wasn't.
It's just a past show where he was.
It was just a past show, but now like people are just like coming forward with like every time Travis Scott said something shitty at a concert, which I mean, like when people do concerts, like there's a lot of concerts. It's just like finding something out there that we said that wasn't probably so great. It's like you do this much, there's gonna be
Now, I'm unclear a little bit on the Travis Scott incident. The what happened? He encouraged. Like I know people rushed the stage.
People rushed the stage, and it wasn't.
I know that 8 people lost their lives, but I don't know what caused.
Well, it happened during his set, and then as people were trying to warn people, nobody they couldn't get to them, and nobody was helping. And then people went up to Travis Scott during his set and said something, and then he just kept right on with the show. So we don't know what was said to him yet or when he was notified. He says he found out afterwards. Who knows? Who knows? We're gonna find out. I mean, everybody's suing everybody right now. So there's a lot of wrongful death suits.
It's a big mess.
But yeah, it's like, if you see that happening in the crowd, or if somebody comes over to you and says, "Look, somebody died in the crowd," or somebody's in trouble in the crowd, it's really your I mean, I don't know if legally it is, but it's kind of your moral responsibility to get on the microphone and be like, "Hey, where is this happening? Everybody take a step back. Like there's somebody's in trouble.
Stop the show.
Yeah.
We have a problem here."
Right. But there's one point where you can see it's like a little, not an ambulance, but like a little like golf cart with a siren on it, like trying to get to the crowd. I mean, he could have at least been like, "Hey, everybody, let's get out of the way of that truck and let it get to wherever it needs to get to. And tell me where it needs to get." It's chaos. There's 50,000 people there. Yeah. You have the vantage point. Be like, where do you need to go? Where's the issue? Make some noise, and then everybody get out of the way. You could have saved a life. Who knows? I mean, I don't really know. This is all alleged right now. But
yeah, when did he find out? What could he have done?
What could he have done? Yeah,
we'll see, I guess.
He said he was devastated, but he put out like a statement on Instagram, and somebody pointed this out to me. Like I didn't bring this up last podcast, but somebody pointed this out to me that he put out like there was like a filter like on how you have like Instagram filters. He put like a black and white like film filter on it. It's like
that kind of takes away the gravitas,
right?
A little bit.
I thought that was a little odd. It's like, are you expressing your grief with a fucking TikTok filter right now? I don't know.
Bad choice.
Speaking of which, though, Jeffrey Toobin, he was talking about before we get too far into this, Toobin was talking about who the fuck was it? No, I just lost it. It was either Scott or
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse. And just like everybody's like, "Oh, the guy caught jerking off on Zoom is going to tell everybody else how to live."
That is the only thing he's remembered for.
Yeah.
The guy jerking off in a meeting.
And I'm like, you can't. How could you have this guy on your network anymore? Like, again, I'm not cancel culture guy. I'm not fire everybody, but it
You
really
see, you can't have it both ways. You can't be like,
no, you can't.
don't fire everybody, but now it's distracting because that's all I think about when I see him.
But yeah, and it kills your credibility. It's like he should have been thinking about that.
Doesn't mean he lies.
Should you have been thinking about it when you were cranking one out on the fucking?
Doesn't mean he's not credible. It just means he's horny.
I guess so.
He could be the most honest guy in the world. He likes to, what are you gonna, he likes to get his Toobin on.
Yeah.
All
right,
to go
Frank.
Toobin every now and then. Sopranos Crew. What do you got?
It was Rittenhouse. Jeffrey Toobin, who masturbated in front of his coworkers on a Zoom call, accuses Kyle Rittenhouse of being an idiot.
Well, I mean, takes one to know one, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Insert joke here.
Yeah, it's just tough. That's just a tough one. Sopranos Crew. All right, to Twitter for this one, trending right now, at the Sopranos Club. Thanks to them for this great question. At the Sopranos Club, pick 2 to join your crew. If you was a capo in the DeMeo crime family, Little Paulie, Benny Fazio, Furio, or Eugene, who would you pick out of the 4?
Yeah, get a little close. I can't see them. I know. I'd probably go. That's tough. I'd probably go Benny.
You got Benny, you got Little Paulie, Furio, or Eugene.
Based on the history of the show, based on what I know about them in the show.
Yeah, and it's kind of unfair because Eugene
hung himself.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going
to
say
spoiler
alert.
The show's like 20 years old. I mean,
Eugene doesn't make it.
No. Furio, good for while he was there.
Good while he was there, but again, spoiler alert, falls in love with the boss's wife, has to exit in shame. Right. Goes into hiding.
So, Little Paulie, good muscle, but fucks up.
Gets his ass kicked a lot.
Gets his ass kicked. Can take it, but he screwed up a couple times, beating up the wrong people.
Eugene, who did he beat up that was the wrong person?
What's his name? What the hell is his name? The old man and his son-in-law.
The old man.
They were in the car. What the hell are their names?
No.
They pulled them out of the car, beat up the son-in-law.
That wasn't him. That was Jerry, the hairpiece guy. Not the hairpiece, but they call him the hair, I think, right, or something like that.
So Little Paulie. He beat up someone that was not right. Like it was John's. It was the New York Crew's someone. But he fucked it up. I don't remember. I feel like he fucked up something.
He beat up the movie guy with Christopher.
All right. So then I guess I got to go Little Paulie and Benny.
All right, but Little Paulie gets thrown out the window by Christopher, and Little Paulie also got hit by Eugene at the construction site. Remember, he smashes the glass in his face.
Yeah, but Eugene, he wants out.
Eugene wants out. And let's not forget, Benny got his ass kicked by fucking Artie. I mean, how tough can you be to get the shit kicked out of you?
Yeah, but he'll do anything. But Benny is a yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll do whatever you need.
True. I'm definitely going, who would you say? Little Paulie and Benny?
Yeah. I mean, Furio's great, but I don't think he's got your best interest in his mind.
True. That's true. But he is the toughest one out of all of them, I feel.
Oh, yeah. He'll kick all their asses. It's tough. You gave me 4 shitty choices.
Well, they're all shitty choices. They're monsters. I don't know if you know, but...
Of course. They're all shitty choices. But if you had to choose 4 for your crew...
I got to tell you, I'm going to go the opposite too from you. Not just to be a stickler here, but Furio and Eugene, because they did everything. They were
higher ups too.
They were high up. Yeah. They were making it happen.
All right. Yeah, those are good choices.
I like Benny, but you can't be on the crew if you're getting fucked up.
All right,
by
so
Artie.
if we're saying in their prime, then I have to agree with you. But if we're saying based on their history of the whole show,
yeah, well, because you're picking off of longevity, basically.
Right. Like if you just snapshot all four of them in their prime, then
Right.
yeah, I go with your two.
Right.
I go with your two. All right. So what does that say? That says, am I the boss now? What happens?
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've been made, Frank.
Oh, good.
You did it.
Yeah. No, thanks.
All right. A couple more things, including the brothel that's offering up incentives for getting the jab. Paul Rudd, named by People Magazine, sexiest man alive.
I missed out by like that much. They
You
called
sure
me. I said, you know what? Paul's been around, longer than I give to Paul.
By the way, the funniest response to this ever was from Judd Apatow, who wrote, "I may have a problem with this." Because
Why?
Paul Rudd's always kissing his wife in the movies, basically.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that fucking funny? I
That's
thought that
funny.
was hysterical. Yeah, Paul Rudd. Okay, and it's funny because everybody talks about this, but he went from Clueless to sexiest man alive. That's a hell of a run.
He's been around a while. He's 50, 51, 52, 51 years old, and he looks like he's 25.
I saw a great meme of him where it's like it's 4 pictures of him and it says Paul Rudd at 20, Paul Rudd at 30, Paul Rudd at
Same
40. Same picture.
I think his funniest thing was when every time he appeared on Conan, he did the Mac and Me. Like he would be there promoting a film.
Oh, and they played that weird old movie or whatever it was.
So whenever he would say, "Oh, we have a clip from the film," and Paul Rudd would give them the same clip from Mac and Me of the kid in the wheelchair going off a cliff. Every time he wouldn't promote the film at all. It would be that.
Okay, I think what bugs me so much about this asshole getting this prize,
harsh words,
is that he's funny.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these people, like it's easier when you have like a face and an airhead getting this thing because you're like, well, fuck that. At least I'm funny. Like Paul Rudd is kind of really funny. Like to be funny and good looking.
Is what you're saying.
Very much so. Very, very much so. Yeah. I had a big problem with this because because I feel like women and gay guys are going to be like, you know what else too? He's not just adorable, but he's funny. And then it's like, well, fuck.
He's the full package.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's hope he doesn't have a full package. And that's one strike against him.
All right. There you go.
But something tells me he's the perfect man.
Where it's like, if it's like Brad Pitt, you're like, yeah, well, he kind of, he might be abusive or something like that. We don't really know. You're like, at least you go, hey, at least I'm not abusive to you. You can adopt all the kids you want. I'm never going to walk out on them.
Right. Yeah, you want your sexiest man alive to be flawed in some way.
Yes.
You don't want a perfect Paul Rudd.
He's kind of got a perfect thing. And also, is he that good looking? I don't even know. Like, I don't know if women...
Well, in the photoshopped, airbrushed picture that they have on the cover of People, yeah.
It's a horrible picture, actually.
He looks very mannequin-like and flawless skin.
Yeah.
No stubble. He looks very, very plastic.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not the real. I mean, I feel like if you show a real picture of him, he's still going to be a good-looking guy. You don't have to airbrush the shit out of Paul Rudd.
You don't. I really wish they would stop airbrushing the shit out of these pictures.
You don't have to. He's a good-looking guy.
They don't look good.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't that good-looking in Anchorman. The mustache and the long hair didn't help.
I know. He was funny as hell in that, though.
He's
good. If you had to pick the sexiest man alive, who would you pick?
Present company excluded.
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah. I wasn't talking about you.
I know, but it still made me feel good.
Okay, good. Sexiest man alive.
Who's the sexiest man alive in your eyes? I haven't even really thought about this too much.
I don't know. He's a good candidate because it's not just about looks; it's about him too, personality. I'm sure, and like you said,
I wish it would just go back to looks because those of us with personality at least had something to stand on.
You know what I don't understand is the attraction of Ryan Gosling. I don't see what's so everybody sees him as one of the most attractive people. I don't see it. I think he looks kind of goofy.
Yeah.
I don't get that he's like the perfect looking guy. I don't see it.
Honestly, I have a poor opinion of anybody who's attracted to men. Being a man myself and knowing how horrible we are, I just feel like
we are terrible people.
I think low of people who are attracted to men.
Well, Chris Evans, I think is could be up there.
I'm so
I'm
tired
sure.
of the Chris's.
I'm sure Hemsworth. I think you could put any of most of the Marvel people in there, and you got a good shot.
That Chris Hemsworth is if I had if I'm like, oh, who was gonna be like super attractive, I feel like Chris Hemsworth. Blonde, he's got that Australian thing that feels more manly than most.
I don't know, Captain America, man.
Yeah, they love that Chris Evans, right?
Chris Evans is a good guy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Hemsworth is a good guy too.
Plus, Chris Evans, didn't he accidentally tweet a picture of his dick and it was like huge?
If that didn't put him over the edge,
fucking asshole.
That should have gave him the trophy right there.
Yeah.
I mean, here's my wiener.
Accidental shot on my dick for everybody. John Hamm's a good-looking dude. Sure,
I think. I don't think he's better looking than Paul. Paul. I think Paul Rudd or Chris. One of the Chris's are better looking.
Here's why. I know this is gonna sound horrible. Here's why I think I'd pick Hamm over most people. Don't do this, kids, because I don't believe in it, and I don't do it myself. But he looks fucking cool as shit smoking a cigarette.
Does he?
That's the one thing I'll say about Tony Soprano. Like, I still don't get the sex appeal of Tony Soprano, whereas most women will say it's the power and this and that. I think Tony Soprano looked cool as fuck smoking a cigar.
Ugh, I
think that's part of the appeal.
I don't get the whole smoking thing. There's like maybe 3 people in the world that can pull off looking good smoking, and I don't even know, because to me, I just get that smell and I go, ugh, it's a huge turnoff. It
smells disgusting, but it does.
Cigars and cigarettes, I can't.
Yeah, if you watch Mad Men, like Hamm smoking a cigarette and everything, that look cool as fuck.
Yeah. So I watch. My wife and I are watching The Crown now.
Mm.
Everybody's smoking in that.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, it's every scene. There's at least 3 cigarettes going.
Did you see? There's a Christmas commercial with John Travolta's Santa Claus and Samuel L. Jackson.
That's right. Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
like to see. Nice to see them together again.
Yeah, it is nice. That's a little. What was the other movie they
Pulp
were in?
Fiction.
Besides Pulp Fiction, weren't they in another one together?
I don't know. Not coming to mind.
Yeah. Why did you gaslight me? We talked about this. Okay, so you blew off last episode because you were out partying with I think you were on another podcast, if I have to be totally honest with you.
That's probably it.
And then I went to go drop off that very shirt that you're wearing. I rang your doorbell twice.
I did not hear a doorbell.
How did you not hear it?
It's not your fault. To be fair, my doorbell is iffy.
Broken.
Some call it broken. I call it iffy. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. But you didn't knock either.
I didn't knock. I feel like people who knock are kind of assholes.
Did you hear the bell when you rang the bell?
I wasn't no, but there was a lot of things happening on the block at the time.
All right. Well, I honestly, if I didn't ignore you, if I heard the doorbell, I would have came to the door.
I probably should have not, but like your car was in the driveway, and I was like, he's got to be home.
I was home. Yeah, so you just threw it over my back fence.
You had to
into the yard.
Did the mug make it? Did the mug survive?
Fine. The mug survived. It's an intensive care, but it's fine. It will make a full recovery.
And then I'm like, I left the stuff for you. Like 4 minutes later, Frank texted me back. He's like, oh, cool, I got it. I'm like, what, you were home? I'm like,
I was home. And I would have used the mug tonight, but there was a sticker on it. I had to put it in I didn't realize it's in the wash.
Oh, of course. Of course. But then, like, you had said something to me. I don't want to tell people what it was, but I was really mean to you back just to be funny. And I was hoping to clarify that when I saw you, and then I couldn't, and then that made me feel even worse.
I remember what you said. I'm looking it up.
You remember what I said?
No.
You asked me, you were like, oh, you want to do this? And I was like, with you? No.
Oh, yeah. Dick.
But
I think I know you well enough to know that that's a joke.
Yeah. I don't know if your wife does. I feel like she does, but I feel like she thinks it's my real intentions anyway.
No, sometimes. She knows it's a joke. She gets it. It's all good.
But I felt like I needed to give you the explanation in person, and you weren't there. I think I texted it to you anyway, regardless.
What explanation? Oh, for the text. No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine. It's
yeah.
don't even worry about it. I knew immediately it was.
Be
a
honest, you just didn't want to chit chat. You didn't want to small talk it up.
I never want to chit chat, but I would have answered the door. I'd be like, thanks a lot. Wave to the car. See you later. Slam. No, I would have answered the door. I'm not going to ignore the doorbell.
30 years I know you, and it's like fucking. You're playing. Let's creep down behind the couch and be quiet. Don't turn all the lights off so we don't have to fucking talk to this asshole.
I didn't even know you stopped by until you texted me. It's in your yard. Over the fence. You didn't even open the fence. You just tossed it over.
And somebody criticized me actually last episode. They're like, you should have texted while you were there. I thought that was a bit much, though.
That makes sense nowadays. Who rings bells anymore?
I don't know.
Unless it's a ring cam. Do you ring those? Or you just walk up to them.
Oh, that's a good question. I refuse to ring any ring cam. You should see me. I should be a rider.
It should just activate, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to ring them anymore.
Yeah. I was at this plate. I had to get microphones for this thing I was doing. And I walked into this place and it was like front door. And like this thing like spoke to me and I was like, do I have to ring this bell now? Because I kind of just announced to the entire building.
Yeah. There's no point to the bell anymore.
Somebody's at the front door. Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, 30 years, I can't even get it. Get a fucking.
I would have answered.
Cup of coffee. Not even a cup of coffee. Not once. You invite me in for a cup of coffee, a piece of cake.
I invited you.
Sex club in Austria is advertising free sex for anyone who wants to get vaccinated on site.
Free sex.
Customers can get their jabs along with a voucher for 30 minutes with the lady of their choice at the club on Monday evening.
Damn. They get the A squad out, though. I don't know. Monday, what? Monday afternoon?
I didn't see that before. That's the funniest.
Monday morning?
When is it the quietest? We were near an uptick in business.
Goo.
But this is really good. Should we do this on a Friday? Fuck no. We're doing good business.
Place is packed on a Friday. What are you talking about? We don't got to do
crazy.
That. All right. So you come in Monday. You get a half hour. Can you imagine being, you're the woman that night and you're like, all right, so all this is free? Great.
Well, I don't know.
I would hope there's a tip.
I've never run a brothel before, but I would assume the proprietor of such an establishment would pick up the cost. I don't think the ladies have to donate this, right? I don't know how it works.
I would hope the ladies aren't just out of the kindness of their heart saying, "Oh, thanks for getting the vaccine. Here you go."
Yeah.
I think it would have to. Yeah, I think the ladies still have to get paid.
They should be, or unless the place is like, well, because I'm sure there's shitty people that are running a brothel. Well, maybe not. I don't know. That was a rough assumption by me.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a legitimate business where it's legal and all that.
But they might be saying, hey, if you want customers and don't want to get sick, it's best to get all your customers vaccinated so that they can come and visit you.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
And I'm sure there's tipping involved. The customers, I'm sure, tip the women. Just a tip.
I believe in over.
That's what I would call. I'm sorry.
Just a tip.
I would call that promotion just a tip. All you got to pay is the tip.
Jab for a jab.
Jab for a jab.
In all seriousness, no. It's a bit much. I mean, I feel like this is just straight for publicity. Are they really doing this? Because it seems like of
course it's for publicity.
I want people to be vaccinated, but it feels like this is a bit much. Like this is going.
Hey, they're doing their part. I mean, if you own a cookie place and you want a free cookie,
it's true.
They don't own a cookie place. They own a brothel.
Make a big deal out of all the breweries that gave away a free 6-pack at their place if you got it. So
you can only give out what you got. If you run a brothel, you ain't giving out cookies.
That's true.
I don't know.
Go see if Dr. Mop and Glow is still here. Dr. Mop and Glow. Remember from The Sopranos when Big Pussy hurts his back in the brothel that they were at?
I don't remember that.
Oh, you don't remember? And the madam was like, see if Dr. Mop and Glow is here in room 5. They get the guy and he comes out and he's dressed like a maid. He's got the head thing on with the duster and the apron.
Oh boy.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that. That was at the first season?
It had to be.
Yeah, I don't remember it. And I'm just rewatching them now too. I'm up to the 6th season.
I was gonna say you're up to the 6th season. You should.
I'm in and out. My wife continues when when I'm not. She'll watch it ahead of me.
That is so funny because that's what I do to my wife. Like I'll
Yeah.
keep going and she'll be like,
Which I don't care if it's something we've seen already. I don't care.
yeah. Here, all right, here we go. Here's Dr. Moppinglow. I can't believe you don't remember Dr. Moppinglow.
That's.
He comes out and he's wearing
Oh God, that's awful.
He's got
That's
the
terrible.
apron and the gloves and the.
That is a job you do not aspire to get.
You can't see it, but he's got the. If you look on this one, he's got the little fuzzy.
That's a hell of a career choice.
He's got the dusting thing right there.
Yeah, not great.
Dr.
Moppinglow.
All right, Frankie. See, we got to wrap it up. You got anything else?
I'm good over here.
All right, my friend. Don't forget to pop that shirt up a little bit, my man. Give the people what they want. There you go.
This is the stuff right here.
Look at that. That's the silhouette right there. The trio.
Nice, comfy.
There you go.
You got the logo on the back.
The logo on the back.
It's beautiful.
Comfy as shit, isn't it?
This material, it's very soft.
Yeah. We went premium on all the shirts.
Good stuff.
Yeah, all the way. You can grab your own Anthony on Air merchandise, the Frankie C collection, which he's wearing, the J Sabs collection, which she was wearing last episode. A lot of that's what she said stuff on there. Of course, you can get the microphone logo and everything else, the beer logo, the wine glass logo, the coffee cup logo, all at shopanthononair.com. That's shopanthononair.com. Don't forget to our good pals over at Jumpstart Coffee Company, proud sponsors of this episode and all the episodes of the Anthony on Air podcast. You can save 15% off their coffee, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Great stuff.
Yeah. I'm saying everything like Larry David now because I'm watching Curb like crazy.
Man, I'm watching Seinfeld, jumping around. It's great. I love like the earlier episodes where like he was the voice for Newman in one episode.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of Larry David voices in the earlier seasons.
Steinbrenner was his best though, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was great.
Get some Jumpstart Coffee Company, save 15%, use the promo code AOA15, link in the description, or click the banner on the homepage of anthonyonair.com. We will catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks so much, everybody.